Hey there, welcome to another episode of Travel with Yendi. So today we're not only going to one of my absolute favorite countries in the world. As a matter of fact, I've often said this is the only place I would live other than Jamaica. But we're going with one of my favorite humans on the planet. So without further ado, drum roll please. Bam! Welcome.
Hello!
Whoa. This is my little human. What's your name?
My name's Israel.
Hi Israel. Who are you?
I'm your human being.
This is my human. This is my little girl, and it's safe to say I think Izzy loves South Africa as much as I do. You think you do? Definitely?
Definitely.
Okay, so in speaking about South Africa, we are going to hit what I believe are some of the absolute must-dos when you go. South Africa has so much to do and so much in store, but most importantly, in my opinion, you have to check off Table Mountain, Robben Island, wine tasting, safari, and food, and beaches, and
Our home.
well, let's get straight to it. Here is South Africa.
But before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, click on notification, and give us a thumbs up.
Yay! Good job. So, in order to get to how this love affair happened, we have to start at the very, very beginning. How did I end up in South Africa in the first place? Well, South Africa is one of the few countries I've lived in other than Jamaica, and that's because I was signed to a modeling agency there in 2009, and I lived there for 6 months. So, just before I came home to do Miss Jamaica Universe, I was living in South Africa gaining international model experience. And it's safe to say that's the first place I've been in my entire life where I was not homesick. I was absolutely not homesick. And it's because it just has so much to offer, from topography to food to culture. It is one of the richest nations I've been to, well, literally and figuratively. So this one is loaded, plenty things to do. However, I'm going to stick to the main features that I think are must-dos once you visit. So I was based in Cape Town, South Africa, and Cape Town is stunning. Mountains, beaches, ocean, fantastic. When I say one of the prettiest places that you'll ever lay your eyes upon. Not so long ago, Table Mountain was named one of the new 7 wonders of nature, and there is no wondering why it was named as such, because it's beautiful. Table Mountain, as the name suggests, is flat like a tabletop, and then to the end of it you have Devil's Peak, and then you also have Lion's Head. So looking on at the scape, it is one of the most beautiful pieces of topography you'll ever see. And the way the clouds almost roll over the edge oftentimes, it just is beautiful. So if you are a hiker and you like to hike, Cape Town has tons to offer you in those 3 mountains that I just mentioned to you. However, if you don't like to hike, you can take the cable car and head on up to Table Mountain and have a panoramic view of the city of Cape Town. It is beautiful. However, in true Yendi nature lover adventurer fashion, we did the hike.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it.
So you head up the mountain. It takes about 3 hours, give and take. You do, well, for me, albeit I think I'm quite fit. That air hit different. Them steps hit different. It's not like a smooth cruising type of experience. No, you're gonna hike, you're gonna put in some work, but I promise you it is worth the effort. It takes about 2.5 to 3 hours. You will have to take a bit of a breather in between every now and then. There are points where it's steeper and you have to catch your breath, but let me tell you that as you continue to climb that mountain and you're looking back from whence you came,
That's where it came from.
and you're seeing how far it's behind you and how much further you still have to go. You have to call on you have to dig real deep and make your way up there, but it is worth it. The views at the top of Table Mountain take your breath away. Beautiful, striking, the bluest of waters, the most stunning mountainscapes, the development of the city. It really leaves so much to soak in and appreciate. And while you're at the top of Table Mountain, if you look over in the distance in the water, you can actually see Robben Island. Now, Robben Island is where the prison that Nelson Mandela was held captive is located. And to me, you'd have had to have been living under a rock not to know the history of Nelson Mandela and his fight and his walk to freedom and what that meant in dismantling an apartheid South Africa and what that meant for giving equal rights to black people in South Africa and what it meant for the advancement and the progression of human civil rights. I don't even like the term civil rights. It's human rights, the rights that you are a human being. I mean, if you cut any of us, we all bleed the same color blood. And Nelson Mandela just stood for so much. And the fact that he spent so many years in prison there in Robben Island, you get to actually witness and see his jail cell. It's but yay big. And you know how many days he stayed in that cell. You know the hard labor that he endured and the fact that he, lived out so many years in this prison on Robben Island to come and be the global face of humanity, the global face of something better must come, the global face of the world is better united. It does something to you. It sends chills up your spine to truly understand what Nelson Mandela experienced and what he as an individual meant to the entire continent of Africa and the world at large. So getting across Robben Island is super simple. You can purchase your tickets online. You can go to the V&A waterfront and get your tickets, and then you head on a ferry from Cape Town across the Robben Island. It's about, if I'm not mistaken, a 30-minute, 40-minute ferry. Not bad at all, and it's a very easy process. Hopefully, always check that the weather is good before you go, because the day we went, they started with good weather, but unfortunately coming back we had a bit of choppy waters, and it wasn't a very pleasant experience considering a lot of people had motion sickness. Oh, I'll leave that to your imagination. But all in all, it is a brilliant experience. So another must do in South Africa. South Africa is almost synonymous with safari. Ooh, child, they have some brilliant safari experiences. So let's start on a smaller scale safari. If you are based in Cape Town and you don't want to make the trek all the way north, say Joburg and beyond, you can visit what's called Aquila Gaming Lodge. I believe that's the name of it. And Aquila is a smaller safari, but you still get to see all of the animals. And wait, come here little girl.
Okay.
Quick. Careful. How was Aquila Safari for you?
It was really good. Well, it was really good because I saw a lot of animals like cheetahs and stuff. And the hotel there, it's really cool because once you want to take a break of safari, you can also go in a pool and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's one that has a really nice pool that looks out into the distance. That one is really a nice day experience, right? So you can arrange with the tour where they pick you up at a very close point to where you're staying, wherever your hotel may be, and they pick you up very early in the morning.
Like
early like that, that you have to yawn.
Well, they pick us up at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it was something like 5 or so, that's true. And then you make your way to Aquila. It's about a 2.5 hour drive or more. But what was really cool on our way to Aquila was, so South Africa is known for having baboons on these drives, and we saw some baboons, and you really get to take in the beautiful landscape. And Aquila offers you, as I said, if you don't have a lot of time in South Africa and you have a small amount, like a limited time in Cape Town, Aquila is definitely an option for you. However, I suggest you plan for safari, because if you take a flight to Joburg and take a bit of a drive, right on the border of Botswana is Madikwe. Now, how amazing was Madikwe?
Epic, awesome, spectacular, but Mommy didn't want me to get the Madikwe tablet or
the malaria. Yeah, I didn't. We chose Madikwe because it's a malaria-free zone, and because you were so small at the time, my option was to just go with malaria-free. But you have tons of other safaris you could choose from, and you can get the necessary, medications and so on if that's what you choose for your experience. But we chose Madikwe, and were we ever happy? Now, picture this: your hotel room on the inside is quite luxurious, it's very comfortable. The roof of it is like a straw hut. You have an outdoor shower. The balcony of the room opens up to a water hole where the elephants were splashing.
And if you're a kid, it comes with this little kid stuff where you get to play with and stuff. And the bathroom, it had a slide that you can actually slide down in the bath.
Well, I don't think you were supposed to slide in the bath, but hey, we used it for that. But they had a whole kiddies village, so Izzy actually got to do kids game drives as well. There's just a whole awesome experience.
And Auntie Candice and Uncle Isham came in every day. I went to day camp.
Day camp was awesome. And you came on game drives with us too.
Really?
And you forgot?
I forgot.
Yeah, girl, but let me bring you up to speed. And one of the best things that could have happened, because it's a hit and miss when you go on a safari, because they're game reserves. All the animals live in these the hectares and hectares of land, and it can be hit or miss who you buck up, right? Who you buck up in. We saw the big 5 within 2 game drives, and the awesome thing about it is you have a game drive in the morning and the evening each day that you stay on the property. Within 2 game drives, we saw the big 5, and man, was it awesome.
Look at that. Look at that.
And we saw alligators.
We saw alligators, we saw just so many animals. We saw the hippos.
Oh, I remember the game drive. It's the thing that I drank. Remember that thing I drank?
What?
The thing I drank, the little alcohol. I took a little alcohol.
What? You did not drink alcohol?
I know, I took a little cup and I thought it was alcohol.
It was not alcohol.
What was it?
I don't know. Holy moly. Hopefully Child Protective Service is not watching this. You never drink no alcohol. But speaking of alcohol, wine and South Africa. We're gonna get to that shortly, but you have to leave for this part because you didn't do the wine tasting.
But I didn't.
You did the beaches. Well, we'll come back to the beaches. So should I talk about wine tasting or beaches? Beaches first? Why? Because you want to stay here? Well,
because if I do beaches, then I can go.
Tell us about the beaches.
Okay, so the beaches in Africa, when you walk there, you're gonna see a man saying "Grenadilla lolly" and "lolly to make you jolly." That means popsicles for sale.
It's true. Grenadilla lolly and lolly to make you jolly.
And then you're gonna walk to the other side of the beach and you're gonna see shells.
This is King Triton. This is the daddy merman. This is the mummy mermaid.
And there's gonna be this rock that you get to take pictures on and climb these rocks, and then there's gonna be floating rocks, so you can actually like sit in the floating rocks and float around.
You know, they're technically not floating. They're actually grounded into the sand, but because it's just above the water, it looks like they're floating. They're really cool, right? Yeah.
And then when you swim in the water, that's if you do,
Yeah.
then you're going to see these little waterfalls falling down. And when you go over to the waterfalls and you feel them, they feel like they're massaging, and if you put your back onto it, it's gonna be awesome.
Where was that?
Remember the place where we had the green creek?
Oh, I do remember that. I hope I have pictures of that. If not, just take her word for it. I do remember that. And you have one thing that you need to know about the beaches in South Africa. Pretty. Tons of public beaches. You can literally just walk and go to any beach you want to go to. However, the water. Can we talk about the water?
Well, first things first, I have to tell you, it's freezing cold.
It is freezing. It's cold.
It feels cold on my barefoot.
It feels cold, what?
It feels cold on my barefoot.
On your barefoot?
So the water is very cold, but worth it. Beautiful, pristine beaches. What is one of your best, most memorable experiences in South Africa?
Like about beaches?
No, anything.
Well, I remember this place, this carnival place where we were dancing with some music and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And also like the fun of it.
There was a parade in the city of Cape Town. I went to the parade, didn't I?
Will you still love me tomorrow?
That was really cool.
And they did barbecue mushrooms.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You are talking about Old Biscuit Mill. Honorable mention, Old Biscuit Mill is in Cape Town on a Saturday. Worth it. Food village, live music, artisan setups, awesome.
You know the beaches in Africa, the sand, the feeling of it. Listen to me. This sand, when you feel it, it's gonna feel like chalk except better. Listen to me.
Also, let us talk about, since we're talking about beaches, let's talk about Boulders Beach. Boulders Beach is where you see penguins.
Penguins on ice.
No, Israel, on sand. Remind me not to invite you back to these videos. where you see penguin on ice? You goodie?
I thought it was I thought that was African, the magnet in our fridge.
No, that was the magnet on our fridge. That's a green screen picture from when we went to the museum in London. Just kidding. So the penguins actually live on the beach in Boulders Beach in South Africa. It's called Simon's Town. It's a bit of a drive, but worth it. It's a beach village type of a space, and you have tons of restaurants on this pier. I mean, fresh food. I believe it's called Cork Bay. That's the one. Remember I said I couldn't remember the name of the place where the seal was? It's Cork Bay.
So there's actually like a seal on the ground, floating on the ground.
You were squirming on the ground.
I remember said, "You want to touch it?" And I was like, "No way."
Chicken.
Whoa!
It looks disgusting.
No, it does not.
It looks slimy.
It does look slimy, but they're cute.
Well, yes, they are.
Yeah, they're cute.
Their mouth are literally look like a nose. Like
It's true. and they have mustaches and whiskers. So all in that space there. So Simon's Town, there's Boulders Beach there, there's Cork Bay, where, you know, as Israel is saying, you can actually, a lot of the times the seals come up on the pier and you see them sunning. You get the most fresh seafood you've ever had. I mean, fresh seafood. It's really fantastic.
Try the shrimp.
Yeah. No, not the shrimp. The
Calamari.
Oh,
Yes.
How good is the calamari in Cape Town? Everywhere. Have you ever had a bad meal in Cape Town?
Never. If you have a bad meal in Cape Town, I mean.
In where?
Yeah. If you had a bad meal in Cape Town, you're not going to the right place. I'm telling you, you're not in the right place if you had a bad meal in Cape Town.
Yeah, the food there is brilliant. You really, even if you go to the wrong place, you get the right meal. You just can't get a bad meal there. So that's more on the nature excursions, outing side of things. Also worth honorable mention for the scenery is Israel mentioned Old Biscuit Meal, also Chapman's Peak, beautiful, stunning views. Also worth mentioning Kloof Neck, the views there are beautiful. Also worth mentioning the 12 Apostles. So when you start at the beginning, at the beginning of Camps Bay, there's a mountain peak that you literally see 12 peaks, and it's called the 12 Apostles. Really beautiful. Another point worth mentioning is Cape Point. So Cape Point is the most southern point in South Africa where the two oceans meet. So you can actually, it almost looks like a seam at the point where, so there's a really cool lighthouse and you see the two oceans and it literally looks like a seam, you know. It's so cool. But the Indian Ocean is the side where Durban, South Africa is. I've never been to Durban. I'm still yet to visit Durban, but we're gonna visit one day, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. And maybe one day we can try and find some more parades.
Yeah, you'd really like the parades. I didn't realize you liked it so much.
And there's headbands and clothing there.
Oh, look.
That's from it.
Yeah.
And these bracelets are from there too.
Yeah. So we got these in Green Market Square. So Green Market Square is in Cape Town itself, and it's a must-do as well, an absolute must-do, because you find amazing art. I mean, really beautiful art, beautiful pieces, and it's so inexpensive. You can have a meal in South Africa where 4 of you have ordered a full entree, you've ordered appetizers, you've ordered wine and dessert, and you probably wouldn't pay $100 US. Promise you. The food there is amazing, and it doesn't take much to have a great experience in Cape Town.
And in the art place, there's this family rule sticker that I put up in my room, and there's also this unicorn magnet, and there's also a wishing well there. But these clothes, they're just like so creative and stuff.
That's for the Old Biscuit Meal as well. Is that your microphone?
Yes, mommy. I like microphone.
Microphone check. Go.
Microphone.
Okay, so we mentioned Table Mountain, we mentioned Robben Island, we mentioned the beaches, Simon's Town, safari, food, scenery. We have not spoken about
The what?
the wine.
Oh, mommy, this is my microphone that you always say is in my throat.
Oh, yeah. I always tell Israel that she must swallow a microphone while she talks so loud. So, the wine. So as synonymous as South Africa is with safari, rather, it's also synonymous with wine. South Africa has some of the best wines globally. And I mean, I used to joke and say that even if it's in a box, the wine is good there. But I'm literally telling you, even the box wine is good wine. You don't find headache wine. You just find quality wine at every level in South Africa.
Drink wine. Chug it down.
Again, I hope Child Protective Service is not watching this. But in speaking of wine, you cannot talk about wine without talking about the wine farms and wine tasting. And I highly recommend Franschhoek. there is a town called Franschhoek that has these amazing wine farms. I mean, there are wine farms right across the land there. However, in Franschhoek, there is a place called La Petite Ferme, which literally translates to the small farm, and it's a farm to table type of setup. The food, amazing. The wine tasting experience, it is fantastic, and hopefully you remember all of it when you come home, because
Have you seen them squeeze the grapes to make the wine?
actually they carry on a tour. Why am I using a microphone? They carry on a tour of how they do make the wine, so it really is informative. You see all the grapevines out in the vineyard, and they take you through how you go from that grape and how that grape gives you Chardonnay, or how that grape gives you a Merlot or a Cabernet Sauvignon, and it's just a fantastic, informative, intoxicating experience. You can see what I did there? Well, if you were to rate South Africa out of 10, how much would you give South Africa out of 10?
I would break the rules for 10. Instead of 10, I would give it, you know what I would give it?
Tell me.
1,000.
1,000?
No, a billion, gazillion, 170,000 cubes. More than Jamaica, y'all.
What? Yo, you sell out in Israel. You're going to let the whole world know, so you sell out. A joke. So yeah, that is our share on South Africa. Hopefully you enjoyed this, but I promise you it is absolutely worth the visit. I'll go this far and tell you, I have 5 countries thus far that I said when I retire I will live a part of the year in each of these countries. South Africa, Cape Town in particular, is one of them. So
Please don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and please don't forget to comment down below which other country you want us to talk about.
goodbye.
Goodbye!
That's it for this week's Travel with Yendi and Izzy. Iz and Diz take South Africa.
We should make this the Is This vlog.
Oh Lord, I think I've started a nightmare.